What is going on? What is going on? What is going on, party people? It is your boy, Coach D Brown, former big leaguer, former first round pick with the Kansas City Royals. And man, listen, I know we had a different time than usual, man, but I had to get in when I fit in sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So I had to get my man, and I'm blessed to have, man, a Power Five, highly, recognized school, academic wise. I'm anxious to hear what my man is all about and the program is about. We all know the school, but I always love to talk about the man behind the school, man. And I'm just blessed to have my brother come on today. And so got Northwestern University head coach, man, Spencer Allen, joining us today, man. And Coach Allen, man, what's going on, family? How you doing today, man?
Doing good, D. I appreciate you having me here today, and just want to say that I remember your playing days. I was a big fan, and just an honor to be on here today.
Listen, man. I always like to get in the background, man, and I appreciate those kind words, man. And but I always like to get the man behind the program, man. And I want to know that journey, man, from where you from, playing career, because I never really do homework on any of my guests. You know what I'm saying? Purposely, because I want to know, from just like the parents want to know, man. So I want to know the journey, man. Where you from, playing career to your coaching career to where you are now as head coach at Northwestern, man.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, D. So I'm originally from Olympia, Washington. The
Wow.
other coast, the West Coast,
Yeah.
that's about an hour south of Seattle.
Yeah.
And
Couple of
yeah,
friends from
I
there.
grew up. I went to college. Went to out of high school. Went to Oregon State. What was
Okay.
found out really quick that I was not good enough, and that's okay. Ended up transferring to Iowa State, where I played 3 years there. Again, was just an average player, but just loved the game. Got into coaching pretty much right away, D, and I love it. I really love it, and loved it at the time. And I'm not going to give you all my stops, but I did the normal assistant thing, bounced around. Was really blessed to be around a lot of good baseball people, and in 2015, what was named the head coach here, and so this is going on our sixth season here in Evanston, Illinois.
I mean, listen, man. That's I saw a little bit, from images and stuff, but you were at Illinois, right? So how many D1 programs were you right away going right into a D1 program in your coaching, and then got the head coaching job, or did you kind of do junior colleges, D2s or whatever? But did you always, was it always the D1 level coaching?
Yeah, when I finished up 2002, I coached at Edmonds Community College in it's a little bit north of Seattle. That's where I started out. I actually took a
Okay.
year off. I taught. I was an associate scout actually for the Kansas City Royals, and learned a lot just about
Okay.
that side, evaluating players. Yeah, projecting guys. A guy by the name of Greg Smith really just gave me a great education. Late night on the phone, just talking
I know
about
this.
players was great. Yeah, and then I was the volunteer at Iowa. Worked at Creighton. I think I've had 7 different D1 schools. So there you go. But yeah, it was at Creighton University, Washington State, Purdue. I'm missing Illinois, and then here at did I miss Washington State? No, Washington State. Yep, and then was at Illinois, and then now at here at Northwestern.
Wow, man. I mean, that's quite a journey, man. And I do remember Greg, man. He's from out
Yeah,
there, Spokane, right? If I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
yeah.
Yeah,
There
yeah,
you
yeah,
go. Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
Great baseball guy.
Yeah. If he's still in the game, even now, if you still talk to him, tell him D Brown said hello, man. Yeah, I definitely remember Smitty. Was a good dude, man. Good dude, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
that's a good
So
memory.
wow, Washington State. Yeah, Purdue. Illinois, man. It's man, that's quite the journey to getting. And now, when you get called to run your own program I'm going to find out more about the school, but I mean, at a school like Northwestern, man, that's got to be, you know, Tell me about that feeling, man, when you get that call to run your own program at a Power 5 in the Big Ten Conference, man. How dope was that, man?
Yeah, really a great feeling, and I think like every assistant, you think you're ready, but you're not, and I found that out. I don't say the hard way, but it's just been fun. It's been a great journey, a great opportunity. Not only a great institution, but just a good city, right? In 2016, the Cubs won the World Series, so there was good playoff baseball to watch, and that organization has been great to our program, just in as well as the White Sox. So it's just been really a dream come true. Opportunity to work with kids who are really talented academically as well as athletically, and have the dreams to make it to the big leagues like you, D. So it's a lot of fun.
I mean, let's talk about that, Northwestern, and for people that don't know, I mean, I think I found this out in my 20s, where Northwestern was. But let's talk about the, actual school. Where is the location? And obviously, I kind of spilled the beans a little bit of the conference you guys play in. But if you could tell me, where the location is and what conference you guys play in.
Yeah, so we are in Evanston, Illinois, which is about 17 miles north of Chicago. We're right on the water, so our campus is right on the shores of Lake Michigan, which summer, spring, early fall is just really beautiful. We have a new $389 million facility. Right. Someone's saying highest GPA in the Big Ten. I like that. We have just a great new athletic facility, weight room, nutritional cafeteria. I want to say it's $415 million in new facilities just in the last 5 years here. So it's really great. We are in the Big Ten Conference. Which again is a great conference. There's 13 institutions that host baseball. Wisconsin does not host baseball, but it's a great conference and an outstanding top 10 academic institution in the nation.
Yeah, I mean, and for people who don't know, man, that's what Northwestern is known for, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm gonna let you answer that. What is Northwestern, known for? Let me put it like I'm gonna leave it in your hands to say that,
Yeah, I mean, I think you could kind of say a little bit of all of the above as far as when you talk about the academics, but I mean, you talk about just top-notch professors, research, our medical school, law school, our I always say this, our journalism school. It's like, name an ESPN reporter, and a good guess is that they went to Northwestern. That's what it's easier to name who didn't.
That's what I know Northwestern.
Right, there you go. So, but yeah, and the fun thing too is just you look at our football team right now. We're 4-0. Coach Fitzgerald has done a great job, and really we're trying to let young men and families know that you can get the best of both worlds. And in 2018, I think, Coach Fitz took the team, to won the Big Ten West, took them to the Big Ten championship game. And Coach Collins did the same with the basketball team in 2017, making the first NCAA tournament ever. So just really trying to follow in their footsteps and continue to try to put Northwestern baseball on the map.
Yeah, man. I mean, Coach Fitzgerald been there forever. I remember when he was a player. If I'm not mistaken, I know he definitely went to the Rose Bowl when he was there. I don't remember they won it, but I remember, Coach Fitzgerald as a player, as a linebacker, man. I'm a football nut, man. But yeah. And then so, man, let's hear about this baseball, man. $400-something million going into the sports facilities out there, and man, outside of Chicago, and the GPA, and known as the communications, like he said, ESPN, every ESPN, Mike Wilbon, Mike, Greenberg, what I'm saying, all those dudes big up Northwestern all the time. But let me ask you, so facilities wise, comparing to some of the Big Ten schools, Michigans and Michigan States and all of that, how does that facility, how does your facilities match up with that?
Yeah, we built a $16 million new stadium. So we have a new clubhouse, new locker room. We just a year and a half ago built a brand new indoor facility, hitting facility. It's for baseball and softball only. And I tell you what, I mean, when you look at our facilities, we are top of the Big Ten, and that's saying a lot. A lot of our institutions here in the Big Ten have really committed to the sport of baseball, which is great. And again, you see a Michigan make the final game, a game away from a College World Series. I think that just speaks to what each school has put into baseball. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been great on the recruiting trails. Obviously, we've seen an impact there, and we're continuing just to try to move that needle.
No, that's crazy, man. The transition to the Big Ten, man, has been, kind of crazy, man. So, like competition-wise, on a day-to-day basis, when it comes to recruiting and stuff like that, you need the influx of talent coming in, man. So when you're out there facing the Michigans, the Indianas, and those Iowas now that are doing their thing, recruiting-wise, what I'm saying? Illinois, Chicago, I mean, has some high-level talent there, but is it kind of structured in and around the Chicago, Illinois area, or are you kind of branching out and plucking kids from all over the country?
Yeah, we've really taken a coast to coast approach, and have had luck, in California and actually in our 21 class have a New York kid coming in. So we've really, Florida, Georgia has been really good to us. So really all over, D. And I'll say this: it helps the Chicagoland area, state of Illinois. Wisconsin, there's really good baseball here in the Midwest, and we've benefited from that as well. So we'll take young men from wherever.
Man, that's cool, man. Cali and New York boy, I love that, man. You know what I'm saying? Get them New York boys in there. I love that. Man, but let me give you a couple questions coming in. Is Northwestern private or public institution?
Yep. Yeah. Northwestern, we are the only private school in the Big Ten. So, yep. We are the only only private.
Okay.
Yep. That's a good question.
Yeah. So before I get to Dre, you know what I'm saying? Because Dre's going to be our guest on Tuesday.
But there we go. You got a good one there.
Yeah. He I told him I was going to try, I've been trying to get you on, whatever. We talked yesterday and then we didn't confirm yet. And he's like, man, yeah, you love him. Coach Allen, you love him. So he's going to come on Tuesday, right? I got him coming on Tuesday. But what's the difference, private and public, when it comes to, especially in a conference like Big Ten? Does it help you, hurt you? What?
Yeah, and that's a good question. I think you could probably go a little bit of both, but I think all in all, I think it helps us. I think there are certain kids who are like, we've got about just over 8,000 students, right? But we talk about it as that we're a smaller institution, but we're in a big city, right? And so you could still get a little bit of, right? It's smaller classes, just a lot more focus on you. But then if you want to go, to a Cubs game, or you want to go to a concert, you just have all of those options, right, at your fingertips. It's no New York City. I'm not gonna say that now, but Chicago is it's definitely a world class city, and we're trying to give our athletes really a world class experience here at Northwestern.
Yeah.
We're about to set the fire alarm off.
Oh, really? I thought you were doing it then.
We're doing the inspection.
I'm on a live call. Okay. Right. When? Right now?
All right. It's going to be in a few minutes.
All right. Just give me like this before, and I can mute it.
All right.
If you could, please.
I'm going to get this guy. He's going to be down here to do it. And before he goes and does it, he'll let you know.
I appreciate it. Yeah. I'm in the lobby of my daughter's tennis thing, and it's like, gosh, and they're testing this just
Okay,
fire
that's
off
all
all
right.
things. But anyway,
I can cover for you.
yeah, I
Just mute
appreciate
it.
it. Yeah, I'm doing this thing, man. But the at all days. But we have a. So when you talk about Chicago, I mean, I love Chicago. Chicago is one of my favorite cities,
Yeah.
all time, man. I know it's been kind of getting a bad rap, on a national level, man. But do you feel like that hurts you when it comes to recruiting? And because I know, Evanston is a nice suburb out there. I know you probably have to deal with that type of stuff, but I'm sure some of the parents have some issues and stuff when you see on the news and stuff like that with the city of Chicago going through what it's going through. Yes or no?
Yeah. I mean, I think beyond the recruiting implications, I think we all want to try to help our communities, and I think that's what the social injustice that took place, I think is woken up a lot of people, myself included, and I think I don't think anyone has the answer on how to help, but I think people are more open to helping, and I think that's more of the issue. I don't really worry about if it hurts us in recruiting or not. It's a great city, great diversity, and ultimately, young men are going to come here and grow and be better because of the diversity and everything that we have in this city can offer. So I look at it that way, D, and I think that's something that's just it's exciting, that kids have the opportunity to do that. Some never leave, right? They love the city, and others do, go back, whether it's Georgia, California, wherever they head back to. But it's it's a lot of fun and love the city here.
Yeah, I can only imagine, man. So what like kind of give it our view of the schedule in and out of the conference, the places that you guys go, as far as competing on a national level, being in a Power Five school, playing it, the schedule there in the Big Ten, and then, how far out are you going?
Yeah. So we oftentimes our first 5 weeks, right, because of our weather here, we are we've opened up the year down in Arizona, each of our first 5 years, and it's been great. Almost kind of like a spring training type feel. We've had an opportunity to play at the Cubs facility. We've also played at the Dodgers and White Sox facility. Because of our relationships here, which has just been it's been outstanding, and we've been really lucky to be able to do that, and our players to be able to do that. And then we talk a lot, D, about wanting to challenge ourselves. We've went to the University of Texas, we went to Georgia Tech, Duke, South Carolina, last year. So I think those are during the recruiting process. We talk a lot about that, of wanting to get a little bit of that experience, whether it's maybe some more fans, maybe a little bit more coverage, that baseball will get, especially that time of year early on, and ultimately try to prepare us for league play, see the type of hitters, see the type of arms that we're going to see in league play. And then a lot of it then just kind of comes down to, who's available, what's the best setup, travel wise, as far as who we play and where we go.
Man, so yeah, that's a hell of a schedule, man. You guys are going all over playing, man. So during this COVID time, it's been crazy, man. I'm sure you've been affected with the rosters and people coming in and the incoming class, man. How have you been able to deal with those whole COVID issues,
Yeah, I think at first, we really wanted to get our arms around our just our young men, right, and making sure. I don't think any of us, when this thing kind of popped off, any of us knew how long this was going to go, and so that was important, right? Because guys, number one, were hurting, that they were disappointed in losing a season. Some guys, that their last game, they didn't know it was going to be their last game, and so that's just you're just dealing with a lot of emotions And then, you move into another phase of now guys are not able to play summer ball, and you just kind of worry about their mental health. And so we really just try to stay tight, as a group, challenge them to, stay tight, whether it's through social media or however they can, jumping on little calls here and there. We talked weekly, sometimes twice a week. And really just wanted to make sure that we, number one, took care of ourselves. Number two, that we use it as a time to try to get better, right? Looking at film, looking at ways and parts of each guy's game where they can improve.
I know. Let me see. We have a question came in. Kevin says, for the next upcoming classes 2021 to 23, is no considering GP only, excluding SAT and ACT scores?
Yeah, that's been a little bit of a hot topic, and Kevin, I'm sorry, I don't have a great answer for you because there's talk of it, but at this point, that we are still looking at ACT and SAT scores. Trust me, I'm with you. I think I think you can go a lot deeper than just a standardized test, but at this point, we are, we're still looking at those SAT and ACT.
Yeah, I don't see a school like Northwestern. I mean, like I said, you are the head man over there, but a school like Northwestern, I don't see them excluding SAT and ACT scores. I mean, just don't, what I mean? I mean, that would be a blessing. I mean, what would be your advice to those, like California kids, Georgia kids that are like juniors and seniors, especially the seniors now who haven't taken it or wanted to kind of retake it? What would be your advice to those guys, man, that kind of, need these SAT scores, or, what would be your best advice for those guys?
Yeah, I think, number one is just that preparation, right? Of really trying to prepare for it, and, trying to find, you can kind of attack it like your baseball game, right? Hey, where are my weaknesses? Where are my strengths? And really trying to attack those. And for some, individuals, that the weakness is actually trying to manage the stress of the test, right? And not just like the stress of a game, right? Some people, you can at 5 o'clock, they can do it, but being able to kind of shine when the lights come on and when that test starts. So, being able to work through some of those issues. And so I think that's the best advice that you can get, is just really, practicing how to take the test. Because that, to me, there's, don't get me wrong, there's some, they're gauging, there's some practical, I guess, engagement and some idea of what, where a person is. But I think it's also testing on how well you can test, if that makes sense. I didn't articulate that great, but I think that's part of it.
Yeah, no, I got fully what you were saying, because sometimes, I was just saying, because Georgia and like Tennessee, like in Georgia, not Tennessee, I'm sorry, in California, like they're not even like, because they keep canceling because of COVID, you know what I'm saying? So they like need the test, but they can't take it. Not like they're not doing good, they just can't take it. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. No, that's a great point. We actually have a couple of recruits that are in that situation right now. So that is the one opportunity where there may be a little bit of an appeal, if there's a time that there we go. Yep. J. Rob said that you can't take it right now. So if that's the case,
right,
then that's when it does look, and they may look to make it optional, or still accept people without it if they cannot take the test. So I see where you're getting at with that.
Yeah, I was just, but I mean, it's just one of those 2020, like, so recruiting wise, did it affect you at all? Because I know most Power 5 schools are kind of two plus years down the line as far as recruiting wise. But did this whole COVID this past spring, does this affect you recruiting wise, or not necessarily?
Well, D, it's funny. One of the things that we really try to differentiate ourselves with is we want to try to be the best late in the process, meaning that we don't get too far ahead. When you look at most of the people in our conference, that they're a couple years ahead. We don't. So it was still a good thing. I don't want to I don't want to say that it hurt us, because I think we got some really good um, individuals. We got some young men that I think are going to be really good players in our 21 class. It's a little nerve wracking, because we about half of our class we have not seen live. And you really have to trust your people, your contacts out there, your network. But again, on paper, feel really good about our class.
How has that recruiting? How has that gone? Like learn, like knowing you can't go on the field to see these dudes, and you're making recruiting decisions off of video, and how key is the relationship aspect of it when it comes to recruiting now during these COVID times?
Yeah, it's funny. One of the things I'll say, D, is that the relationship actually, in some sense, was, maybe a little stronger, because some kids weren't playing as much. For us, we're not traveling or at a ballpark, so we could connect a little bit easier. We did more Zoom calls with families. So in some sense, it was the connection was good. It's just the evaluation, right? And trying to see, it's like we were talking with my assistants. It's like I haven't seen anyone strike out all year, right? Because no one's sending me the times when they punch out, right? They're sending me the double they hit, and so. But as you know, that's part of the game, and we want to see how guys respond. But all in all, feel really good about our guys coming in.
Good deal, man. Carl asks, how many 21? Oh, I'm sorry, Jansen, how many 21 commits do you have?
Yeah, we're sitting at 8 right now, I believe, and because they've signed, I think I can comment on that. I'm always checking myself. My compliance hat is going on. Yeah, so 8, and that's something for us, D. That's a pretty standard number. We don't get into that the teens really ever on a recruiting class. I think our biggest. I think we had 10 in our first recruiting class. Maybe it was 11 in our first recruiting class, but usually we're right around that 8 to 9 young men.
All right. Carl says, how do you navigate the fact that the NCAA is allowing college players extra years?
Yeah, first off, Carl's a good baseball man right there. It's good to hear from Carl. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, there's some tough conversations. I think in one sense, Carl, I think it's I think we have an opportunity here to really allow kids and be honest with them. I think that's the one thing for us, that the approach that we've really taken is just to try to be straight up with them and letting them know here at Northwestern they have told us that we need to get back to our number of young men that we can have on the team. So it makes for some hard conversation, but the positive with this is that we're able to do it 6-7 months out. So guys are going to have an opportunity to plan. And we've just really, taken that route. Now I know there's a lot of schools and there's a lot of really good baseball players out there that are having a hard time, finding a fit, and maybe they can find a place to play, but they don't like it academically, or vice versa. And shoot, here's the other thing that I'll say is that I think even Major League Baseball, when you look at the draft, I think this draft is going to be one of the deepest. I don't know about the top end. You'd have to ask scouting directors on that, but I think it's going to be one of the deepest. I think you're going to see some really good players who are seniors who normally would get drafted in independent leagues. And I think in 3 or 4 years, we're going to look up and go, wait, this guy was playing indie ball, and now he's in the big leagues. I just really feel that that's going to be the case.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I was just talking yesterday. Uh, Yesterday and today, I tell you, I had the Zoom call, man, and um, teams are getting shorter and shorter the amount of rosters on the minor league side. So you're going to see an influx of really talented kids in the independent leagues, college wise, and man, it's just found out some news. We're going to push back spring training for minor leaguers and stuff. It's just crazy, man. So a lot of stuff going on, man. But all right, my boy CT out in Australia says, how does he feel about internationals? All right.
You know,
He's out in Australia.
Yeah, Australia. I love it, Charles. Yeah, we international players. I mean, as you know, in Australia, and you can go a lot of different, even over in Europe. The game is booming, and there's good players coming from everywhere. I think, we to be 100% honest with you, here at Northwestern, we have not kind of tapped into that. We actually went 1 year in 2013 was at Creighton University, and we had the first ever Italian-born, young man who from Italy to be drafted, Federico Castagnini, and that was a really a cool moment. And so I know the game is growing. I'd love to go down. I've got a good friend, Rachel Balkovic, who is headed down to I believe it's Brisbane to coach down in Australia this, I guess, is it this summer? It's summer down there, right? So she's pretty excited about that. And I know there's some really good baseball players from down that way.
We'll talk to you about this. I know we just connecting, but I do these showcases starting this weekend and Saturday. This will be my fourth one, but we're going to be in Waco. So what I've been doing is live streaming these showcases I've been doing, especially for you D1 coaches. But speaking on the Australian side, I got my boy CT. We're going to be doing the live stream with a group of 21 to 22s Australian kids out there. So if you up for it, it'll be Friday night-ish. For us, when they're Saturday morning. So if you're up to look some international talent, if you're open to it, which I'll send you that link out there, and you got some time, and go check out a live stream from Australia. We're doing Australia live streaming show. Yeah, man. So yeah, something different, man. Some Australian kids. All right.
That's real
but
cool.
Do you like to have a good mix of JUCO, high school, and transfers? What do you prefer?
Yeah, the junior college, just because of the academic, has been a little bit tough here. We've gotten a couple transfers. What I prefer is exactly what you put on there is a good mix. What we have typically recruited is mainly the high school player, and for us, that's been good. And we make no bones about it. We're a developmental program. And that has worked really well for us, just seeing guys as juniors and seniors really taking off. And that really gives us that 4 years to develop them. So that's more, I guess, our preference.
Let me ask you this. So like a school like Northwestern, for a JUCO kid, what grade is it the same type of grades that a kid may need for the high school? And let's speak on that. I know we talked about SAT and ACT as far as don't have to take it or we need to take it or whatever. But for a school like Northwestern, known high academic side, what's a what do you need SAT and ACT wise and GPA wise to even be considered? That you even look at them with the academic side.
Yeah. So when you talk about a JUCO, the first thing that they're going to do is go back to high school and see, check out his test scores, check out his grades, and then the biggest thing at that junior college, at that community college, they're really going to look at what are the classes that we're taking, right? And that there's got to be some really there's just got to be some meat in those classes. As far as test scores, I'll go off the ACT. I mean, you're looking at, that 28, 29. I think, you get above there, you can be in the mix with us, and that's kind of what we shoot for.
Yeah, I always wondered that because I have some JUCO kids that be asking me about, hey, can I get into there? And I obviously I know what a high school kid needs, and I'm just like from the JUCO side, I'm getting into it now. I'd be like, yo, is it same type of? I'm glad you said that you look at his high school scores and his college scores, right? Combination,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, it's a combo. Yep. Yeah.
Good deal, man. All right. So when what's your gut feeling coming into this season? All right, because you still practicing during the spring. I mean, during the fall right now, coming into winter. And
Yep.
so, what is like your gut telling you when it comes to the season coming up this season? Do you feel like everything is on pace? I know it's wishful thinking, or you just kind of 50-50. What's your feeling telling you?
I think the one thing that this, time has taught me is just it's too hard to predict. And I think even more, and we talk, I'm glad you asked this question because we talk about this as a team a lot, of kind of the mental drain that it can get you into, trying to predict and trying to. So I really do not spend a lot of time on what may or may not happen, unless it can affect us, planning wise. So I feel good with it. I'm staying positive with it. Is it going to be, again, we talk about this, is it going to be exactly like years past? No. I mean, I think, pro sports has proven that it's just not going to be that same experience, but we can still have a meaningful experience. And most importantly, I told our guys, said, hey, what's the end goal? Like, hey, we want you guys to prepare to play professional baseball, to become, your best self. It's like, no one's stopping us from that. No one's stopping us from us becoming our best version of ourselves. So that's the end game, and kind of where the space that I try to live in, instead of the what if space.
I mean, like, I have a young child myself, but what do you tell 18 to 24, 22, 23-year-old kids, man, that just want to play some ball, man? I know a lot of them in Northwest probably obviously are there to get, their higher education and stuff like that. But, you got your dudes there that, especially springtime, that there to play ball. How do you, I mean, I know you said you have the conversations and stuff, but what's your mood of your team then? Like, because this is all new to everybody, and is it the depressions? Is it the letdowns, and the worry about, man, am I, decisions need to be made, and do I take this job? Do I go back to school? Like, how has that dynamic been? Because it sounds like this year a lot of you, all coaches across the board have had to be counselors, you know what I'm saying, on top of, teaching X's and O's, So how has that, been for your team?
Yeah, well, number one, I think, the coaching staff here, the guys that I've worked with, Dusty Napoleon is our hitting coach, Josh Reynolds, they've done a great job, right? And just kind of us all supporting one another. And we've talked about that as first and foremost, like, hey, I've got to take care of myself. I've got to take care of my family before I can, help anybody else. So that's, where we started. And then, D, I think you hit it, is we've got to be real with kids, and that's that scenario that you threw out there. We had a pretty good senior who could have come back this year, and helped our team. Right. But I had to, and we had to, as coaches, take our coaches' hats off and be, a good human, right? Put our parents and say, hey, what's ultimately best for this young man with all these uncertainties. But I think that's what we try to do is stay off the high ups and downs, and really just try. There's going to be some ups, but let's not get too high, and there's going to be some downs, but let's really just try to stabilize this thing, so that we can, when we do get back to that quote unquote normal, that we that we're just situating ourselves the best for success.
All right. I know you answered this, but let me clarify this again. What's the SAT and GPA score for academic scholarship at your school?
Yeah, I mean, so starting that, we'd love a 3.7, right? 3.7 GPA, and when I say that, that's taking out the whole weighted, right? So that's an unweighted GPA. I think if you get a 28, 29 and above there, you're in a good spot, for us. There's so much more that goes into it, but that's kind of just a general idea.
All right. Carl asks, what's the difference in your personal approach as a head coach versus an assistant?
Man, I knew Carl was going to hit me with a tough one here. Yeah, so I think, I think the two things. Number one, I think the idea as an assistant where you can really, live in your lane, in the sense of, hey, I really want to focus on recruiting, and I really want to get the hitters better, right? You can really, for lack of a better term, really just put your head down and kind of do that. And if you want to get mixed in a little bit with the alumni because it works out, or you're going to help out with camps, but and I think just as a head coach, there are just so many more lanes that you have to live in, and if you want a successful program. So I think that's the one thing, and then learning how to manage those, personally, and making sure that you're not neglecting a certain area of the program. Ultimately, our players come first, right? And we're here to serve them and to help them along this journey. But as we all know, there's just a lot of pieces, and then you're trying to manage different personalities, and I think that those are probably some of the differences. And I'll be honest, I feel like I've grown a lot in this area, and learning about leadership and continuing. I think that's a big thing too, is that you just have to continue to grow. As we know, that this game, will pass you by, not just from a technology. We all see that, but just in leadership, there are just better and better leaders out there across the board. And so for me, I have to continue to work on that to become a better leader.
Speaking of leaders of men, I thought I don't know this number. How many African American coaches are there, head coaches in the Power Five schools? I mean, I know a handful of those in the D1 black coaches, especially in the HBCU side. But as far as Power Five, where is that number at? I'm anxious to know that. Because you're like one of, I don't even, got to be like on one hand you could probably count.
One of the few, Edwin Thompson just got a job at Georgetown. Edwin's done a great job at EKU. We get asked this question a lot. Carrick Jackson.
Is that a problem?
Yeah, I mean, and I think what I'm just saying is that we've got some really good coaches. I think if you looking at just the quote unquote Power Five, I may be the only one, but I think there are a lot of good coaches, and I think even more exciting is that there are some really good young coaches, or guys that are in professional baseball on the scouting side, on the player development side, that are getting better. Tyrone Brooks with MLB Baseball Diversity Pipeline. Man, I cannot stress that enough. The work that Tyrone has done. Carrick Jackson was and is the chair of our ABCA Diversity Committee. The work that Carrick has done and the committee members. Players Alliance, right? And I'm not trying to get off path here, but I'm really just trying to. I'm excited. I'm excited for some of the things here in the city of Chicago, right? That the ACE program every year, and this year we were fortunate enough to get a young man from their program, but every year they're doing a great job pumping out college athletes, guys that are going to go to college, as well as professionally as well, which is great. But I just really get excited about the guys going to college and getting that education. I think is great, So, sorry, a little bit of tangent, but I'm just excited.
Listen, I thought you were. I didn't know. That's why I asked that question. Like Carrick's been on the show. Yeah. I know Todd Brooks, of course, for a long time. But either way, congratulations on that. Needs to be more. I know you're not going to harp on that because I ain't trying to get you into that type of conversation. but congratulations on that. I didn't know. I thought it was more. I didn't know it was just one, man. But congratulations for that, man. So we are. Mike and Callie says, what classes are you currently recruiting? 21, 22s, or 23s?
I would say more onto the 22s and 23s right now, Mike, is kind of where we're looking at recruiting wise. Still kind of keeping tabs on 21s, but more in the 22s and 23s.
All right. My boy Coach Beard over there at UC. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped him. Oops. All right, my boy Coach Beard over there at UC Bakersfield, the former guest of mine, and what up, DC? I go way back.
Yeah, that's a good one right there, man. That's a good one. JB was a good athlete. When I was at Oregon State, his intramural flag football team beat ours for the championship, man. And I think JB single-handedly, beat us. He was like Ben Roethlisberger. He could beat you with your legs a little bit, as well as throw the ball down the field. So me and JB can win that.
Wow. All right. So Carl says the first. Is that right, dude?
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah.
Damn. Congratulations again, man. Carl, thanks, Carl. I should know this. That needs to be again highlighted. Obviously I ain't gonna get too deep, but it's not cool. But for you, it is such a highlight. That's dope, man. Congratulations on that. That is, man. I wish I should know that. I should have known that. I did not know that. I just knew it was a very low number, and when I was just kind of looking through, I saw you. I was like, yo, brother out there doing this thing. Let me get you on. That's man, long overdue, but congratulations again, man. Wow, that needs to be highlighted and celebrated, man. I know you modest, Mr. Modest, man. It's all good, man. But,
just excited to like good things. First woman GM. There's just a lot. We're just in a good. We're not in a good spot, but there's a transition that's fun to see. And I'm excited to look up in 10 years where we're at. For sure.
Wow. All right, man. That is not what I was expecting right there, man. But man, I feel even more privileged, man. I was happy to. Truth be told, I was happy to get a big time school. You know what I'm saying? And I knew you were brother out there doing this thing in Power 5 school. I had no idea you the first, and shame on me on that, man. But thank you, Carl, for pointing that out, man.
That's okay.
Yeah, congrats, dude. All right. So, at what age should a young ball player start trying to get in front of college coaches? Is it 13 or 14 too young? Does your program take note of younger players at showcases?
Yeah, I think 13U for us, 13U, 14U is probably a little young. I think we're always gonna recognize really, really good players. But there's just so much that goes into it. Some of the early development, right? We've seen that, right? Someone who can just dominate at that, 13, 14, even 15U level, and then they get, passed up, people catch up, whatever it is. So I think 13, 14 is too young. Focus on this is my thoughts, but focus on development, focus on those things before trying to think about getting in front of colleges.
All right. Kevin says, I know that scouting agencies are important in terms of recruiting and providing social media attention, but do you use their services or videos as recruiting tools? Do you prefer kids coming to your camps? As you know, the cost of these camps can be a lot for parents, so some kids might not get to look at these costly events. Sorry for the long question. What are your thoughts? That's a great question.
Yeah, great question. Yeah, I think to me it's just a little bit of everything, but not too much, right? So if it's in the budget to go to an event or two, right? I think that's great. I think anytime that you can get some video is good. The one thing I always say on video is that make sure that you're ready to put your best self out there, because again, it's sometimes that can work. I don't want to say work against you, but in some sense, if a kid is better at this point, but we're looking at video from 6-7 months ago, that can hurt them in the process. So I think just really try to strike a balance. You going to every single showcase and spending thousands and thousands of dollars. That's hard to advocate for. But we utilize some of those services and those videos, and so I think it's just trying to strike that balance. And just adding to if people can come to campus, right? That on any campus, not just ours, but if people can come to campus, that's always a win-win. You get a chance to take that unofficial visit, see the school. Is it a fit for you? And then you get that interaction with the coach and staff. So those are always good. But again, you can't go to every camp. So just that balance.
Yeah, that's because you're saying I can understand the camps and events be costly, but the recruiting services I believe are more costly than the camps. If so anyway, the great question though. Coach Beard said he said Spence was a super athlete, better coach and mentor though. All right.
He's pumping me up here.
Hey, he's a good dude, man. So Northwestern, as far as like the next 3 to 5 years, where do you see that movement going with their program? The fact that you're able to recruit all over. I mean, obviously, do you feel like that on top of the lack of scholarships that all schools get in baseball, but do you feel like being on a higher end, the Stanford, Notre Dame, type of Ivy, you damn near like an Ivy League, caliber school. Do you feel like that hinders you recruiting, and do you feel like it's just one of the things, another obstacle or a blessing? It depends on how you look at it.
Right.
Is that how you take, this with a grain of salt, and like we just gonna get the kids that want to come and that we like, and just build them up and build a great program from there? What's the plan for that 3 to 5 year program for Northwestern?
Yeah. I think the ultimate goal, right? The North Star is just for us to make an NCAA regional. Has not been done here, and so I think that's something that we talk a lot about. We talk about it in the recruiting process. How we're going to get there is, again, I maybe stole this line. I can't remember actually who told me. Maybe it was even a summer ball coach, but it's, we might not be necessarily getting the second, third, fourth rounder out of high school, right? That turns down the draft to come to our school. But what we're striving for is to get a young man that turns into that second, third, fourth rounder, right? Which then hopefully you build up enough team talent and enough, your culture of the program is in a good place, and that's how we're going to get to where we want to go. So really just focusing on that development, D, and really just trying to every day. Again, I mentioned the coaching staff, but we're trying to grow and okay, how can technology help us become a little bit better? How can leadership and self-discovery, whatever it is, help this program and ultimately help our players. And that's I'm lucky to work with Dusty and Josh on that. And we have actually a former big leaguer, Charlie Tilson too. Charlie, local boy, played with the White Sox, and he was a 2011 draft, I believe. 2012, right in there. So
you're young. I don't know. Yeah. You're young.
Yeah. Too young, I know, right? Even for me, but he brings just a great, just a swagger, and hopefully that the kind of that next level, playing at the highest level, can elevate some of our guys as well too.
All right. Carl says, my son Ethan is 13. He would like to know, what is the first thing you check out about a player you like besides the grades?
Yeah, I think, and there's really no like right answer on this as far as, but I want to know, what type of young man is this? Is he outgoing? Is he a little bit more to himself? And again, we have guys that are super outgoing, and we have guys that are really quiet. I think the biggest thing is that I want to know if they can be coached, and not yelling and screaming at kids, but just can they accept feedback? Can they make adjustments? And then I think that the last one is just how do they handle failure? I think that is and that's the golden ticket, that if you get kids that are projectable, that have really a growth and develop mindset, and can take feedback and handle failure, like I just feel like that's the equation that's a kid's gonna grow, and he's gonna take off, and that's what we're looking for.
All right. So like when the Penn States and the Iowa and all of them come on and they come to Evanston to play, what's the coach Spencer Allen's type of team? You know what I'm saying? What's Northwestern? Like, hey, we gotta watch out for this and whatever. So what's your, you know what I'm saying? What's your stamp? What's your kind of style of play?
Yeah, I think really when you look at we're just trying to maximize our roster. So I think positionally, probably early on, right, we were definitely trying to create a little bit more. And so I know there were some coaches out there, and we were definitely trying to run. We were trying to catch pitchers in rhythms. Just that little bit more of a small baseball. I think now what we're trying to do is put pressure any way we can, and sometimes that pressure is just letting the young man sit in the box and hit. And I feel like we have a little bit more of that now. And then ultimately, you like to say that we don't beat ourselves. I think that's something that when we've played better in conference and even out of conference, I think teams have said that. It's like, man, they just didn't beat themselves. I think you could say. I don't think we have any secret sauce or anything like that, but instinctive. The ability to attack the zone with two pitches, and not beating ourselves, I think are kind of three areas that we try to, strive to pride ourselves on.
All right. Russ says, what are some of the challenges being a Black coach in a Power 5?
Yeah, I think, Russ, I think not necessarily looking at it in a Power 5, but I think it's funny because I looked at this a little bit, kind of introspectively this year myself of you know, sometimes you want to be perfect, right? Because though you don't want to say it right, and no one has said this right. My administration here at Northwestern's been outstanding. But there's just this thought of like, man, I can't screw up, and I think that sometimes that can be tough, kind of a tough space to live in, right? And no
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
has put that pressure on. It's just kind of from myself, right? Of you want to fit in, you want to prove, not just as a black coach, but a younger head coach, right? Of you're just trying to prove yourself. So I think those are some of the challenges that you think about, kind of going through this. And then obviously it was, it was interesting just during this summer, right? Of all the, I told my team, I said, there's a lot of coaches that are having a conversation about, racial injustice and, social unrest and all this. But a lot of those coaches are white, you know, talking to white players. And I said, we probably have one of the few where it's the role is reversed. And it provided a great opportunity for some transparency, for just, all of the above. So it's been good.
Yeah, I can imagine that pressure and it's not like nobody kind of puts it on you, but you feel it. You know what I'm saying? It's like such a being, you know, the first, which is, again, it's just crazy to me. But listen, man, I know you have to run in about 10, 15 minutes, man. And I appreciate you, doing this. I know
Yeah.
that, timing wise and everything, we've been talking about that, man. But um, you know, let me so this will be the last question before you go, because Russ says, he want to hit it all, but do you feel pressure signing black players and black staff?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something that, you know, I think the pressure is to perform and to win. I mean, I think unfortunately that is what we're in. I think when you look at some of the challenges that we have, you can look and make excuses. This past year, we were fortunate to sign two young men, two African American players that we're excited about. Um, as far as pressure to find black staff, I think we all want to give opportunities, and I really look at it like this, and I want to try to help, whether that's connecting, mentoring, being mentored. I think that that's something that I think versus, I only have so many spots on my staff, and then you talk about, what we can pay, and then, so there's just a lot of dynamics there, but hopefully, connecting with guys like Tyrone and the ABCA Diversity Committee, hopefully we can make a lot of inroads and change that way as well, versus just, who I can hire and those types of things. So, pressure, no, I think there's definitely an obligation to try to help out the young and up and coming, and I think that's something that even more so now I think is just paramount, that I step up and fulfill my obligations.
I mean, like I said, let me get this too. And there's another statement that's come in from Carl, and I want to finish up with that, man. But how does a 2023 kid get on your radar?
Yeah, I think emails. I think it is the best way. I think if there is a connection, I think one of the things, summer coaches, if they can call, email, I think that helps as well. High school coaches, whoever it may be, and then just trying to, at this point, really, I think the D1 Council said that April is the dead period, meaning we can't go out to recruit until April 1st at least. I think video, is just unfortunately going to have to be the best way. I mean, you're doing the live streams. We've been on a lot of live streams this summer and fall. So I think those are probably the best ways.
All right, Coach. I'm going to put your email on here. So this is what I do with all the coaches. So they send you video. You could ship that over to your recruiting guy, and and go from there. But this is Coach Allen's email, or is it email or Twitter? What's the best way to that
Yeah,
you like for?
either one, whatever you want. Email's fine. Yep.
All right. That is Coach Allen's email. And I'll put it right back before we finish up here. A couple of statements. Carl's awesome job, men. Make me want to learn more and meet more baseball men. Great to have cross paths with Spencer and hope to meet the Carl. No doubt. Look forward to meeting you too, brother. All right.
Yeah. Appreciate you, Carl.
All right. Great job, D and Coach Allen. Best of luck next season, and I'll see you when you pay a visit in East Lansing. All right.
Michigan State. There we go.
Yeah. Coach Boss he's been a guest on. I appreciate Coach Spencer's transparency. You have a pivotal role to help the focus of achievement and performance and social awareness. Wish you much success. This seems to be your calling. All the best. All right.
Thank you, Mike. That's great. You think I like pay these people to come on here? These are
nah, man. These are parents and stuff from across the country, man. They appreciate cool. This info, man. That's why I have this platform, man. They get to meet the man. They get to meet the program. You know what I'm saying? It's, you make fans. You make people that like, hey, I'm gonna send my information and see and take a chance, So see if you like them. So that's what I do it for.
This has been fun, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah. So, Coach, just speaking on that before you head out, man. I always have my guests take us out with a great message. And before you do that, think of that message. I will be flying out tomorrow, and I will see you guys in Waco, Texas. Again, you can still sign up for the showcase on Saturday, 10 a.m. I'm gonna add Coach Allen to the list. He don't know that yet, but I'm gonna add you to the list and the talent that's coming out there in Waco. We are tomorrow. If everything works out correctly, I will have my high school teammate and former major leaguer. We're going to just talk some high school and major league stories over there. My right-handed pitcher, Rob Bell, my high school teammate, will be joining me tomorrow at 4 to 5 p.m. It just depends. I'm flying in, and we're going to hopefully get in time and be able to make this happen at 4 p.m. Eastern. So my former high school teammate and former major leaguer, Rob Bell, will join us and talk about basically how he helped me get seen. All right, him being so good a year older helped me get on the map. And and next week we got a fun-filled pack. We got my boy Dre Butler was on here. He's going to be coming on. I got a surprise. I'm hoping I can get him on, man. But we got former two-sport athlete, two-sport star. Coach Allen, you probably remember this guy, Quincy Carter, used to be Dallas Cowboys. Also, so Quincy reached out. Yeah, so we're gonna have Quincy Carter, former second-round pick with the Chicago Cubs, and also University of Georgia and Dallas Cowboys starting quarterback. Hopefully, I can get him on. We've been texting each other the last 24 hours. I can get him on next week. Junior Spivey will be joining us next week, former major leaguer. So we got a nice fun full pack. Besides, hopefully get another coach or two on here, and it'll make this all. Hopefully, Georgetown Coach Thompson. I'm trying to get him on. We've been playing phone tag for the last, like me and you, been going back and forth messaging for the last few weeks. So we got a fun-filled pack week next week. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be great. So I just want to put those plugs in. So Coach Allen, if you could, man, before you head out, I would love it if you could take us out with a message, man, to these parents listening in, please.
Yeah, I think two things just come to mind. I think number one is, just be kind. I think in that really in all aspects, in our lives, I think that just, that I've had to remind myself in making sure. And I think that the second thing, and this is for all, whether you're a 13U athlete, a college athlete, or a coach, is really just, hey, do a great job of looking at yourself, number one. Look at your daily habits, and really try to get into those. Hey, what's helping me? What's allowing me to be successful, and what's not, and eliminate what's not. Find what's helping you. Find more what's helping you continue to have that curiosity and that growth mindset, and just get better today. But focusing on your habits versus trying to look down the road. Hey, I want to be a big leaguer. I want to be. It's great to have those dreams and have those dreams, but then really drill down, get to the grassroots, and focus on those good daily habits. You'll look up in a couple of years and be in a good spot. I definitely feel strongly about that.
I love that, man. I literally just had this conversation with my daughter about this daily habit stuff, man. So that's awesome stuff.
Yeah.
I literally just today, I promise you, I had this dealing with schoolwork and time management.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but listen, man, Coach, been a blessing, my brother. Thank you so much for coming on, man. And I look forward to keeping in contact with you, players wise, and open communication, man. And hopefully good camps and do something. You know what I'm saying? And I want to really help and your program, and obviously you is what you're doing. You're doing a lot, man. From a baseball guy, one, and black dude from two. You know what I'm saying? You congratulations, man, and you are moving the needle, man. And I hadn't. It's sad to say that, man. I had no idea I just knew it was a small number. I didn't know that you were first, man. So I feel blessed and privileged, man. So kudos to you, my brother. Keep doing it. I know you ain't looking at it like whatever. You just out there trying to get wins, get these W's underneath your belt. And I know that's what it's about, man. But I appreciate it, man. Thank you for taking out the time. Parents, again, 4 p.m. tomorrow. I'll be on with my former teammate, Rob Bell, talking some baseball and the taking advantage of opportunities when somebody else, the scouts are looking at somebody else. All right. So, yeah, man. So, Coach, I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you, man.
Thank you, D. Had a blast, man. Be good.
All right, take care. All right, parents. I will see you guys tomorrow, 4 p.m. You guys take care.